welcome back to Artsy Thursday, where today we are going to be finishing up our elemental butterflies entirely. All we have left is water, and we will go ahead and get started on that. I hope everybody is doing well today. And let's see if I can get Krita to, again, work with us. It's always, not really a gamble to see if it works or not. I just want to make 100% sure that everything is going according to plan. So, alright. Awesome. So, oh boy, now I get to do with all the beautiful blues that I was wanting to do, since that one has some of the blues, but not nearly as much as what our water is going to have here. So let me grab this and swing it way over here. There we go. And I want to try and get it as close to the center as I possibly can, which I think that one right there is pretty much exact. So I'm going to come up and we're just going to go ahead and lock it. And there we go. Sweet. Alright, so rotate this around. Let's see what we're going to go with here. So, pardon me. I'm going to go with, let's see here. What I'll probably do is get a little bit of a palette going here. I want some bright blues, I want some dark blues, and pretty much everything in between here. And then we're even gonna go with, let's see here. I wonder how dark of a blue I want to go with it. Oh, here we go. And then we're also going to throw in some, it's almost like a sea, like an oceany green towards the end. Alright, so I think, and of course we gotta do the really light colors also. So I'm just gonna throw in maybe a couple of those, maybe here, and then over here. There we go. Okay, I think I've got somewhat of what I want to work with here. So the first one that I want to go with, I think, is going to be this nice deep blue right here, almost like a sapphire blue. And I am just going to go ahead and get started. Here we go. Thank goodness tomorrow is Friday, right? Alright. Oh, and I've got to make sure that I bring this way down again. Here we go. And probably even bring the... size is okay for now, but I probably will bring it down just a little bit. There we go. Awesome. Hi, Edgar. How's it going? I hope you are doing awesome on this Thursday evening. This Artsy Thursday evening, specifically. We are going to do the water butterfly, and thank you for joining. Out and about, you have to go to the store. Well, always gotta run errands, right? Alright, let's see here. What if I want to bring that up just a little bit more? Then more of a dramatic. Have fun? Oh, I will. Thank you. And have fun with your errands. Alright. So, I'll do that one, and then I'll come over here, maybe for this dark one. Don't want to go too dark just yet. But I do want to add a layer up and underneath it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add another one. There we go. Alright. Whoops. How dark is this one? Okay, so it's got a little bit more of a darker tone to it. You can see it barely just kind of camouflaged underneath the first blue that I did, which is okay by me. There we go. And let's go ahead and get this one smudged outward. I'll probably do a little bit more on this. There we go. Just to get it pushed out to where I want it. Let's see how far I want it to go now. Probably up towards the eyes of this top wing here. There we go. And then we're going to pull it out this way on the bottom wing as well. You guys all know the drill by now if you've been watching. I go underneath each and every layer when I decide to add a new one. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. Alright, now do I want to go super light underneath and bring it out? I think I do. Alright, this one or maybe even this one up here. Because again, I don't want to go too light. I'll probably save that for when I'm towards the edges of the wings. Want to go underneath? Yeah, we'll do all of this underneath again. Here we go. That's a nice little contrast. Very nice, very nice. This one will probably end up getting just about to the curves that I have towards the tip of that wing. There we go. Now, I see on this wing that I actually don't have those little curves towards the end right here. My eyes are a little too far up, so I think, let's see, shall we do something crazy and try to make this bottom wing match the top one, or should we just leave it more of like the asymmetrical type and just leave these waves here and not put them under here? 'Tis a conundrum, to be sure. So I usually like my wings to be pretty much symmetrical, and I do have a plan for these little, looks like waves right here. So now I've got to decide if I want to do what I plan on doing for both top wing and bottom wing, or if I just want to stick with the top. Let's stick with just the top for now and see what we can do. Here we go. Awesome. Okay. And now I've got that right there. How much of this do I have? Want to kind of push this kind of up and underneath, just to have a little bit to work with here. So how far does my color over here go? Come on. If anything, I might actually have to do it like this and actually erase a little bit under here, unless that's not the color that I was thinking of. Whoops, and I did that all wrong. Here we go. Oops, still doing it wrong. There we go. Okay, that's a bit much, so let's pull it out from under here, because I did color it all the way down in. Okay, there we go. I want that to kind of come up and over just a little bit, and there we go. Awesome. Okay, now then, how about this side? How much color do I have to push on this side? Probably about the same amount. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. This one looks like I didn't have as much color underneath, as I can see it kind of peeking out just a little bit there. Awesome. There we go. Because I kind of want that that little color peeking through right there. I might put like a really, really light color underneath it, or I might put a very, very dark color underneath. I haven't really decided yet. Think. So I make sure I just don't have much more color to work with here. There we go. Okay. Okay, just that itty bitty little peekage from underneath is nice. Okay. Maybe we can bring it back down a little bit. There we go. Nice. Okay, so that is looking very nice. So now, what I want to do here, let's go with a really dark color, like this one here. And let's put it underneath all of these layers again. And I'm actually going to increase the size of it a little bit. There we go. That's a really nice dark color. I do like that. So I'm just going to if it's a little bit too dark right here. So instead, I'll leave that as a white or a lighter color, and I will just color up underneath these here, right at the edges of these wings. There we go. There we go. Now again, I'm still debating if I want to do the same down here, which I might. That would kind of require maybe erasing these so that I can get it to curve down. So that's going to be a little bit of a project, but I think we can do it. So let's come over here to the outline. Excuse me. And we're going to bring the size down a little bit here, and bear with me. Don't worry, I will fix it. But I'm thinking that I want these probably down a little bit further. Here we go. Okay. So now I want to see, that's going to have to be a bit larger here. It's also going to have to be the same as that, so okay, I think that's about the same line, maybe just a little bit larger. Okay, that looks like it's going to be pretty much about the size that I'm going to be able to get, so let's see if I can bring it down just to connect. Here we go. Maybe it's even 1 pixel smaller at 13. Maybe even 12? I forgot what size I had actually used for it. This should work here. Still not quite that seamless. It's probably not going to be seamless either, since I'm technically redrawing it. We're drawing over it. Oops. Let's see if I can just get that to work with us here. There we go. That should be okay. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but that is alright. Now then, these waves go this way, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. This should be much easier. Here we go. There we go. And then we'll just kind of blend it in over that way. There we go. Okay. Now we're gonna make our butterfly somewhat match itself. Get rid of that tiny little bit right there. Okay. Alright. Excellent. So now, to make these circles here, I am going to have a little bit of a plan. I'm going to make another layer up on top, and I am just going to attempt to recreate those. I think the two lines that was on are these two right here, and so it was freehand, so we're just going to, oops, not erase. We're just gonna go ahead and do our best to make somewhat of a circle. I'll do it until I'm happy with it. I could probably use a shape tool to make a circle, but I mean, it works out fairly well. It's I probably just stick with it like that. I have to make another one inside, right? Yes, I do. Okay. Let's see what I can do here. That should work right there. And then I'll make one here. Hard to debate. Hard to tell where this is gonna go here. You can tell I don't mess with the shape tools very often. That should probably work. Doesn't have to be too big or anything. Whoops. Oops. Let's see here. Okay, I can probably make a small little circle in there. That'll probably work. And then what I'll do is I'll come down to this layer here where my eraser is, and whoops, not that, this. And then erase this one in here. Here we go. That'll work. They're still a little off center, kind of like mine are up there, so I think it kind of matches. Alright, so now that I'm happy with that, let's head back down to my dark coloration here and go ahead and continue coloring underneath to these little waves. There we go. Now we can make these look really nice. And don't you worry about those little circles, I've got plans for them too. I usually do. Sometimes I don't. I just kind of wherever the art takes me. There we go. Alright. So that is looking lovely. So let's put a really nice bright color underneath everything to kind of make it stand out. So I'm going to go with this one here. There we go. And we're going to put it underneath everything. Here we go. Oops. Go ahead and give it a save. There we go. God, and I'm doing absolutely horrible staying in my lines too, so I'm gonna have to come out here with my little eraser and get rid of this. Oh man, I did a horrible job down here. That's okay. Easy fix. Easy, easy. Alright. And as per usual, I'll just go pry a few layers by layers here just to clean it up a little bit. There we go. Make it all nice and pretty. There we go. Oh, look at that very pretty blue butterfly representing nice waters. So now I'm going to take my dark blue and I'm going to make it even darker. Let's see how dark I can make it. I don't want it black, but I do want it kind of almost as dark as I can pretty much make it without it being pretty much without it being black though. So probably about here maybe? Let's see. So that looks like it is a really almost black. You can almost tell that it's a very, very dark, dark blue. Let's go a little bit lighter. There we go. So ideally we should be able to see... Oh man, you can barely see. You can barely see the outline underneath that. That's probably about what I'm going for. Because you figure when you think about like a deep, deep, deep blue ocean, it's almost black. So I think that's what I'm going to go with here. And we're just going to put it along this edge here. And underneath those. Half me thinks maybe I actually went a little bit too dark because I do want to see the outline a little bit. So let's just brighten it up just a little bit. There we go. That's about the same color that I have there. So a smidge and a bit darker. I just want that little itty bitty bit of darkness, but just a little darker than what I have right here. So I think this right here is going to work. There we go. And then I will show you what else I have planned for these, as well as going back to the beginning of my butterfly and putting in my lighter colors on top as well. There we go. I can barely see that really dark on the outline, and that is perfectly fine. That's what I want. Okay. And while I have this color still on my pen, I am going to go ahead and finish it up. Here we go. Got very nice, very nice. Blink and blink. There we go. Make sure none of it crept out here. There we go. Nice. Okay. That is much better. Alright. So, let's see what kind of splotchiness I do have here. Whoops. Alright, so this is... Let's see here. I just want to see... Oh yeah, that'll work nicely. Okay. But I don't want it on my outline. Okay, so... For it right here, I want to do some little splotchies here. Kind of almost make them look a little bit like waves. There we go. Very nice, very nice. There we go. Awesome. And we'll do the same down this way. Do I have it? Or did I have it on the very bottom? Yeah, I did. Okay. So pretty much just right along the edge here. Almost makes it look kind of like it's waving a little bit as well, like the sea. And we'll do it all the way down there. Awesome. Here we go. I'll give some little splashes up and over a little bit as well. Here we go. Nice. Okay. And then underneath this one, I'm going to go with that sea-ish green that I've got. And that'll help kind of differentiate between the dark and the light here. I want to put it underneath my waves. Oops. Oops, not that thing. Undo. There we go. I want this color. Thank you. And it's underneath, so that is good. We're going to do that. Okay, here we go. Okay. And then what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to push it up into the dark. So bear with me for just a moment. Okay. And time to smudge it up. Here we go. And that'll give it that kind of like a little bit of a sea-ish green color to it. Oh, I can make it scroll back and forth. How nice. Okay. Here we go. And same thing with that. Almost looks like an aurora borealis as well. So what I'll probably end up doing with that is I'll probably put another little splotches of white along the edge there. Where's my dark color? Whoops. Undo. Thank you. See a bit of my dark color here encroaching just a little bit, and so there we go. I'll get rid of that. Okay, so now then, here is my green, and I want to put on top of that, I'll put another, wrong one, that one is what I was using. Here we go. Alright, some more splotches here. Here we go. And now do I have that underneath my green? No, it's still up on top. Okay. Maybe even what I'll do is probably just do a little bit of fading on it. Maybe a little blend. Or maybe not. Maybe I actually like how that looks. Nice. And then we've got the little dark kind of peeking out underneath as it, I guess, quote unquote, gets deeper out into the ocean. So now, back to what I wanted to do with some light colors. You know what, I want to, that one a little bit too purple? Probably. So we'll use this one, and we will come down to, let's see here. Yeah, we're going to want to put it probably up on top of these here. There we go. Boop. All right. And we're just going to go ahead and get some highlights in here from the center of the butterfly. Coming outward. There we go. There we go. Very nice. Okay. And then I'll probably do another one around here to help highlight this area. So let's just go ahead and do that as well. I can do it on the same layer. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Kind of make it wave out just a little bit. Here we go. Okay. And if I really want to go a little bit crazy, I could do maybe another one right in here. Maybe going inward. There we go. Just to kind of meet that light blue right there. There we go. Okay, very nice. Yeah, we can do that. And then maybe just a tiny little bit right on the inside. There we go. I always like to make the closest to the butterfly's body a little bit lighter just to help kind of highlight it a little bit. So, alright, so there is our really nice butterfly so far. Let's see what happens. Oh gosh, if I decide to be a little crazy and try to do this to my waves. Oops. Went up to make sure I'm always on the right one. Here we go. There we go. I think I can work with that. I'll have to get very careful with this blend though. If I do it too much, it's going to kind of get a little bit lost. There we go. That way then the waves, quote-unquote waves out there aren't quite as harsh. However, there is probably something else I want to do with them. Make that really white. And that's gonna be maybe just kind of adding, either adding it individually or attempting to find, let's see what I can do here. Attempting to find just like a little splatter of color. Let's see here. Oops. Oops, no. All, please. All. There we go. Now we'll be able to see all of them. Let's see here, because I did one that kind of looked a little bit like drops. So let's try this one, I think. Oh, that's gonna have to come way down. And then what color are you going to be? I wonder. Are you still going to be white? Oh. Nah, it's a little too splotchy. Let's try again. I just want like a glitter color. But not too glittery, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense. I want speckles, but not... Maybe the sponge. We'll try this one on for size. Oh my gosh. How big does it need to be? Okay. Oh, here we go. Maybe still actually a little bit large, so we're gonna bring that down a bit. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. There we go. That's kind of like that little sea spray that I'm looking for. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Do I want to add a little bit probably to this one as well? We can do that. Here we go. Almost looks a little bit like glitter, but... And because we didn't blend in this bottom wave here, it should complement it pretty well. There we go. Ah, very nice. Very nice, pretty blue butterfly. And do need to add a little bit more, probably around in this area here, so... What other color can I maybe add? Want a dark color or a light color right here? What do you guys think? Maybe even like a, Let's see what kind of blues we do have over here. About maybe just like, oops, that one looks to be about the same color. Well, it's got a little bit of a different variation to it, so I think we can work with that one. Okay, those are on top, so I'll make another one, and I will just go ahead and smear this one in, and then we'll give it a blend up. Subtle, but that's okay. You can see a little bit of that differentiation. To differentiate. There we go. Okay. So we've got those elements taken care of. So now let's go and take care of these. So what I want to do first on those is make them super, super light. I mean, even probably even lighter than that, so let's come over here and bring it down to about this color. And I'm just going to throw it up on a top layer like that. Probably not that one. I want this to be a little bit more precise, so I'm going to use my gel pen and go right into the center here. And all of it. There we go. Now set this. I'm either going to stick with this light blue, or I'm gonna go even lighter with it. Here we go. Pretty much white. I looked at the light blue and wanted to stand out just a little bit more here. So let's do that with all of these. Do 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 do. Okay. Oops. Push wrong button. There we go. Color all of these in nicely. There we go. And last two. Perfect. All right. Oops. Make sure I erase any of my little mistakes. There we go. Oops. Okay. Okay, they stand out much better now. So now what I want to do is come up here and choose now a dark color. Like a darkish blue. There we go. And sticking with my gel pen, but making it a little bit smaller. Much more small. There we go. I'm just going to do right along the edge here. Oops, actually I think I'm on the same layer, and so I need to do that. And there we go. Now I will do this tiny little subtle ring around it. It may be hard to see, but with luck, once I take a tiny little blend to it, it'll lighten up a little bit and just kind of give it that little ring around it, which is what I'm looking for. So that is nice. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Gonna do the same with all of them, really. This is just the next one on my list. There we go. There we go. That one stands out really nicely. There we go. I'm going to fade it out just a little bit more. And the same with these. go. Making sure it's blended in nicely, but not too much to where it disappears. Okay. Then the last two. I want to keep it right along the edge of my outline as well. Oops. There we go. Okay. Then what I could also do is maybe underneath those add just a crazy little blue. Here we go. Like right in the middle there. And then that one kind of disappears a little bit, so I might need to bring this down. There we go. Want it to blend in just a little bit, but not too much. And I also want to keep the center nice and white. There we go. Okay. And the same with this one. Pink. Okay. And the last two here. Bloop. And bloop. There we go. Excellent. There we go. Finer details. Always the finer details. Now then. So back to my endless endeavor of trying to find what brush I used for the quote-unquote glitter for last time. I always forget. Oh, this one right here, I believe. There we go. Okay. And not blue. I just want to see what it looks like. Oh yeah. Perfect. Size maybe down just a little bit though, so that I can kind of control a little bit more about where it goes. Perfect. So after that is done, so now I've got to figure out where my, oh, this one down here. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of my, whoops, my color palette here. There we go. Got it. Okay. Oh, and now we get to do the background. So we're going to make our butterfly disappear. We're going to come on to the background. And we're going to go... What kind of gradients do we have here? Since you guys can see them now. That was my air butterfly background, so I don't want that one. Alright. We are just gonna go ahead and make a new one. So, let's see, we're gonna name it water background. Okay. So we agreed that the starting point is this one right here, so that one. I think I want it to be maybe a light blue. Try to make it really light so that the butterfly stands out. We'll add a point here and make it maybe a little bit of a darker blue. Okay. It's a nice transition that it goes from the blue to the red, I've got to admit. but not exactly what I want. Here we go. So to make it look a little bit watery, I'm also going to do it this way. And I'm going to add one more point here to make it maybe almost a white. There we go. Okay. Let's try that and see what happens. Just hoping for the best here. Let's put it straight. Alright. Now we've got the paint layer background, so come out about that far. Yes? No. Yes? No. Oops, come on. Give me my gradient. There it goes. Okay. So here, and then out. Maybe too far. Maybe I didn't make it go out quite as far as I was expecting. There we go. That was doing a little too much on it. So now if we put our butterfly right on top, maybe we can bring out... I like it so far, but I think I might be able to do a little bit lighter colors. So let's change this one up a little bit here and just make it go a little bit lighter. Dark, keep that nice dark over that way. Okay. Alright, let's try that one. Bring it out a little bit farther. That way then the edges are just barely that dark color, so I think we can work with that. Okay. So now go like that, copy selection to a new layer, and then just get rid of this one. Pink. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I can work with that. That's a very good contrast to the fire, I gotta say. Okay. So now that we've got our gradient there, now we gotta decorate it. So, add another layer on top. I'm gonna make my butterfly temporarily disappear, and we're going to go ahead, oops, and we're going to add, let's see here. I want like a nice crazy bright blue here. Yeah, I think I do. Okay. But what I might be able to do also is, since I need to practice with this anyway, I'll just cheat. Whoops. We'll cheat. And I'll just do it that way. Haha. Alright. Whoops. Oh, that's kind of cool, but not what I want. Okay, oh yeah, no, this opacity is gonna have to come way up, as is the size. Not so much the size. There we go. Okay. And we're just gonna push it on out. There we go. Give it that nice, kind of like that starburst effect. Trying to push it out a little bit farther from the center. There we go. Very nice. Oop. There we go. And that's pretty good with the butterfly on top. And just because I want to go crazy with it, I'm going to add a white layer underneath that one there. Do I want to cheat again? Yeah, we'll cheat. That was kind of fun. Oops. Except for the fact that I needed in the, you know, the right paintbrush. There we go. Perfect. I did it again. This one. Perfect. Give it that very nice, subtle look to it. Oops, I'm going way too far over there. Don't go too crazy. There we go. I'm try and keep it the round-ish shape. There we go. Nice. Okay. And butterfly. Excellent. Alright. And I have one of these already that I was going to do that to make it kind of look a little bit watery. But the other thing that I wanted to do, let's save it. The other thing I wanted to try, I saw it in here. I wonder if you guys saw it too. Here we go. These little guys. Makes it look a little bit like drops, huh? Let us maybe change the opacity down. And maybe bring... Maybe they're just too big. Oh, maybe now they're too small. Find a nice happy medium here. There we go. Add little droplets to my butterfly. There we go. Okay, I could probably even fade them out just a little bit more. Maybe like a almost barely there sort of deal. And then, what about like these waves? There we go. Not quite. Maybe I did this one just too big. There we go. That's a little bit better. And I think what else I'm gonna do is another, well, a bit more bright blue up in these corners, so I'm gonna make that happen. There we go. That's a nicer transition into the dark color. Crossing over to the dark side. Make sure to take a loop of light blue with you. Here we go. Got it. That's a nice, interesting pattern to it. There we go. Okay. Whoop. And go. Oops. One less. One more. Okay. And then up here. Kind of barely see it underneath my water title here, but it's there. So we're just gonna give it a little bit of a cover up there. Excellent. Alright. And then there's also some other interesting elements that nope, I can make like smoke. Oh, that's interesting. I can make it look a little bit smoky. Nice. I'm just kind of playing with things now. Oh, this one's like a ripple, huh? Yeah, I think that one's like kind of like a ripple, but oh no, that would ripple the that would ripple what's already there, huh? Oh yeah, look at that. Huh. Isn't that interesting? That's weird. Oh, we're not gonna mess with that one. See, I've got kind of like these shards right here that are kind of bluish. I thought I saw another one. This one right here? It kind of has like a little bubbly effect. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. That's I'm just kind of like playing around with stuff now. Just to see what kind of neat effects I have. I think for the most part what I have I'm happy with. That's almost reminiscent of my air butterfly up here, but almost looks a little bit like water splatters, so I think I like that. I'll probably keep that one there. Oh, and then we're gonna go with the glitter. Where was it again? It was down here, wasn't it? Yes. It's this one. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Very good, very good. I could probably put it on this. Well, no, I shouldn't. I'll say that, and then I'll probably like instantly regret it, huh? All right. Oh wait. I know what's happened. It's on my background here, and not on my actual butterfly. However, if we add a little bit of that, oh, that's nice. It makes that stand out a little bit, but I don't want that to stand out. I want my butterfly to stand out. So, I'm gonna bring it up here. Actually, I think I'm gonna bring it underneath where I colored in my butterfly's eyes. Yeah. Cool. And then I'm also gonna need to bring up this. Okay. And then we'll add just this little bit of glitter on it, just to help it stand out just a little bit more. Perfect. Alright. I think we are actually just about done with this particular little butterfly. Okay. And I just want to make sure I don't have any stray glitter pieces coming off the edge somewhere. I do have a little bit of stray ocean spray. Stray ocean spray. I got some stray ocean spray up here. So we're going to get rid of that stray ocean spray. There we go. Okay. Stray ocean spray right there as well. Some stray ocean spray right there. There we go. Oop. Very nice. Okay. I think that our elemental butterflies are actually completed. So I am quite happy with all of that. Let me see here. I don't know if I can like sign my name necessarily, but I could try. I sign it as Alatrye. Oops. Let's see here. And water. Here we go. Oh no, those are just things like that. There we go. Cute little signature there. There we go. I'll probably redo it at some point, but I mean that's pretty much our elemental butterflies completed. So thank you everybody for joining me on this Artsy Thursday and sticking with me with these elemental butterflies. These were fun. I love them. If you followed along, I hope you made some really amazing, awesome butterflies. I'm sure you did. Put your own twist on them. And next time, on our next Artsy Thursday, we're going to stick with the butterfly obsession. That's probably what I'll call this whole series. Who knows how many butterflies I'm going to make. I've got tons and tons of different ideas for a lot of different butterflies. You can tell I'm a little obsessed with them. But yeah, I've got a plan for the next one that we will create. So thank you everybody for joining, and I will see you all next time. Bye!